this group stage in the very beginning, so you can actually lose twice and then lose a third time, which is like the big appeal of the league. You can lose 3 times, and yeah, whatever. So what these two are fighting for is a spot in the winner bracket. And the loser will still be in the tournament, gets to submit a new deck. I think Vincent will be pretty happy about that because he's already confirmed in the fourth place. And so, Caleb, who do you think is advantaged in this matchup?
In this matchup, I think it really depends on what threats Noah Walker draws in his opener, because he's got a very lot of tar-fireable early game plays. Like the Bowmat Couriers, 1-mana, 1/1. Delver starts as a 1-mana, 1/1. Tarfire does a very good job of clearing both of them very efficiently, and but Gurmag Angler seems like a much more difficult card to deal with. Cards like Aether Vial and Chalice of the Void also match up very well against Delver's Disruption Suite, all these dazes and Force of Wills and what have you. So we'll see.
Yeah, you think he's gonna daze the Aether Vial? Probably, right? But the interesting thing to me is whether he's gonna Wasteland here and just like roll the dice on Mengucci not having like a very good mana base here, because he's not really getting to do anything with this mana anyway, and it fuels the Angler. So technically it's like you don't really feel good when you like Wasteland on an empty board, but I think in this case I would totally do it.
I always feel good Wastelanding.
Yeah. So...
Bam. Getcha. Slowing just like trading 1-for-1 lands with the Goblins player also like gives Noah more time to draw cantrips, more time to draw disruption, more time to draw another blue card to pair with this Force of Will, stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think the Force of Will is actually not gonna I think the Force of Will is either gonna be shuffled back with Brainstorm or maybe protect Delver from a Tarfire. Like I think if Andrea manages to find like a real red source, not only a cavern, he's in decent shape because he will eventually get to take out the Delver, and then he's gonna like have the Angler. But the Goblin Ringleaders, if he ever gets past them,
Sting Scourger versus Gurmag Angler is kind of funny.
Oh yeah. You've got a weird definition of funny. Depends on which side of the board you're sitting.
Yeah, right. That's a heck of a brainstorm. Let's see if you're right about this Force of Will. Makes sense to shovel it back in. Maybe at end the days even, with the cavern down there.
Yeah. But with the amount of lands that Noah also drew here, like I could see just like keeping it to protect the Delver and like try to punish Andrea really hard for the bad draw that he's having here. Because now I'm not even sure if he now draws a land for all of his next turns, whether he's gonna get there.
Did you see how he put back with the Brainstorm? Is this Delver automatically flipping?
It should, but he revealed Fatal Push, yeah. So at this point, I think even if Andrea draws a land every turn, it will be really hard for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noah just takes it down. That's the power of Delver, you know? When your opponent struggles and you get the Delvers down.
When your opponent plays 2 lands and no other, plays 1 spell for the entire game. This deck certainly can't beat a single Aether Vial and nothing else.
So Andrea was like, yeah, well, there goes my game plan.
Yeah.
No, I was like, this game is so easy.
I didn't think Andrea's keep was bad. Like, you've got a turn 1 Vial, you've got a Cavern, a couple lands. What could go wrong, right? Those are like a lot of the cards that you're looking for in the Delver matchup. Just didn't work out.
Yeah, like Goblins, the kind of deck, it's really, really mana hungry, and you can spend your mana on so many cool things. Probably not Confusion in the ranks, even though I would love to see him hardcast that in some matchup at some point. But sideboarding wise, like, it's interesting he takes out a Ringleader. I think he just assumes he's so advantaged in the long game, he probably doesn't even need Ringleader, or he thinks he needs to end it quickly, but I don't think that's the case. I think in the long run, Goblins should come out ahead, unless Noah has some like really sick sideboard cards. Noah also trimming the Force of Will. He's keeping one in.
Well, it makes sense. I can see cutting a Daze on the draw too. Cutting Gurmag Angler is interesting to me. I think that's like one of his better threats against. Oh, there's Bitter Blossom coming in though. That's kind of nice too. I'm thinking about specifically all these Tar Fires. True Name makes sense. I like that. Cabal Therapy is a really sweet card against goblins because they're just constantly showing you the cards in their hand. They're like matroning and ringleading, and you're just like, what am I going to name?
Probe wasn't even banned in the first place.
Right, yeah, exactly. There's a few decks like that in Legacy. Like Merfolk's constantly showing you their hand. Stoneforge Mystic decks are constantly showing you their hand. Anyway.
Yeah, I get a real hard on for playing Cardboard Therapy and Elves against Stoneforge. You get to take out like Chitter, then you flash it back, usually on Chase, and they're sitting there and they look at their hand like, I had so many dreams and so many plans, and now they're all gone.
And now I have
amazing.
A Squire.
Yeah. And then they draw another Squire and it finds like a better Squire. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Yeah, the thing I don't really like about Gurmag Anger in the matchup is that it's like actually not that great on offense, especially against cards like Mock Vormarshal, which blocks it like 3 times. So to me, it's more like a wall. It's more like a Tarmogoyf that can't attack.
That doesn't sound like a very good Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it makes sense if you run a bunch of like mass removal spells like Marsh Casualties, which isn't really like a card that people like a lot anymore. Oh, and Noah once again with like the potentially very punishing draw of double Delver, Daze plus Wasteland.
Although Mengucci's hand is a lot better against Wasteland. Gets to play a couple basics first. Got a Tarfire for the first threat, maybe.
Yeah, I don't hate Andrea's hand. Like Andrea can. What do you Goblin Matron for? I guess when he sees the Delver, you might as well just Goblin Matron for another
Tarfire.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
That's why it's far, like, you got the full playset. Just always get it with Goblin Matron. They should print, like, an elf spell, a reasonable elf spell that you can get. I would play elves, what's it called, Harbinger or something.
What if it was just, like, actual Tarfire, but for elves? Like, they didn't even make elves their own card. They just, like, gave you a functional green reprint.
Yeah, that wouldn't... Actually, we got that, like, the bee sting or whatever it's called, that deals 1 damage.
Yeah.
So it's on color, almost like from 23 years ago. When blue got direct damage and shit. Oh, I think the card you really want to get here is Goblin Chainrunner, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that's in. It would run into the Wasteland, though. Wasteland on Cavern, then you don't have your 3rd red.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So maybe you don't want to get that. So maybe really just another Tarfire.
Yeah, that's what it grabs. I liked that Mengucci did not fire off Tarfire on turn 1. He didn't fire it into the Daze. He untapped, made his land drop very patiently. He was in a place where he didn't have 2 drops that he wanted to cast anyway, so it just made a much better use of his second turn, just actually resolving his card.
Yeah, that's like I don't know what's like the hallmark of a great player, but like something that you need to be aware of, like if you want to become good, that you have to sequence your turns and actually wonder whether there's something you can do with the mana, and that like you don't have to play everything on curve if you already got a leg in your curve and you can play around a certain card that way. It's just something that's always like a really clean and clear play in that case.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And you mentioned like a hallmark of great players. I do think we are watching 2 great players. I think that is what this match is.
Yeah, I think Andrea had a lot of respect for Noah. Like I was listening to his commentary early on, and he called him like the best Delver or Grixis Delver player in the world right now, which is definitely quite the accomplishment.
There are a lot less Grixis Delver players than there used to be, so maybe that matters less.
I remember a time where I was the best punishing elves player in the world. It lasted for like an afternoon. I just keep going back to the deck because it was literally the worst deck I ever built. It had like 1 forest or something and like all Growth of the Burn Willows and Fog Variant Rangers. It was so bad. Beaumont Courier. Now that's a tech that Zach, and I always keep forgetting his last name, that like we were hanging out in Vegas last year and he was like telling everyone about Beaumont Courier and how cool it is. And the card actually seemed legit. And now with like Deathwatch Shaman Gun and Gataxian Probe and Grixis Delver needing cards to fill the slots, the card seems to be okay-ish. Like it hasn't really fully convinced me yet, but I can see it being okay. But you really need to deplete your hand at some point. Otherwise, it's just going to sit there and draw a bunch of cards that you eventually won't get because it dies to some random removal spell. Yeah.
I think Mengucci's decision to port last turn was really interesting rather than jam Goblin Matron into Daze mana. I think it's interesting because I don't think I mind trading Matron for Daze when you've got Ring
Especially
Leader
when you
here
got Ring,
too.
yeah. Yeah.
And if yeah. Chain Whirler popping that courier as you do.
Is Sperma Courier still in standard? Do people play that?
But my courier in standard, they do. Despite the prevalence of Chain Whirler, is still a card.
Huh. Well, I've been Chain Whirler in Legacy now. Like a lot of people here in my place, they play Goblins, and some of them they play like 2 Pyrokinesis main. Like they don't even like screw around with Starfire. They just play like main deck Pyrokinesis, double Chain Whirler, double Sharpshooter and shit. And some of them like they splash Perish in the sideboard. Like, what am I supposed to do? Play Sneak and Show? I don't know. It's depressing.
I have a transitional L sideboard.
Into, I don't
4
know,
sneak
big
attacks,
worms.
4 show and tell, 4 Emrakul, 4.
Oh yeah, and then you can like you can
Grizzlebrand.
Visionary out. You can get the Visionary for 1 red, and then you bounce it back to your hand, and you replay it for 1 red. It's efficiency. That's German efficiency, you know. That's what you do.
Some elves lists play a Taiga anyway, right? Yeah.
I used to play a Tiger, and then I cut Rurik Thar, and I still played Tiger for our league, or back then it was like a daily event, and I went 4-0. And some guy at SEG copied my list, and then he top 16, and I looked at the list, and I'm like, why is there a Tiger? Like, oh, last week I had a Tiger in that list that they published with no red cards. Maybe it was for the Swedes.
That looks like is that a concession happening here?
There should be a concession, right? That's a kind of board that's really hard to beat. Like I think Crixus Diver is kind of hard to like play in a way to catch up to your opponent when you don't play mass removal. Like it was easier, and like Fog board isn't really the kind of mass removal you're looking for here. I guess you can take out Siege Gang Commander, and then that's okay because the Gorma Gang now also like clumps up the board, but then Andrea just reloads with has like 2 great spells in hand.
Yeah. I don't think I can concede though. Like the Angler does a whole lot of blocking.
Yeah, definitely. Like if Noah can find something like, I don't know, True Name Nemesis maybe, and another True Name Nemesis, then I could see that working out. And by that I mean I don't even know how many True Name Nemesis he plays.
I think I saw him board in 1, but I could be wrong.
I just see Vincent in the chat mentioning that he's 2-0 against me where it matters. You know, you're actually like 1-1 against me because I can like actually my 2 teammates lost right as I was about to lose to you, so it doesn't really count, does it?
getting awfully technical there.
Yeah,
Gurmag's still serving.
It's just like except for like 2 Nemesis maybe, or really just a bunch of lightning bolts every turn, I'm having a really hard time for like imagining Noah to come back into the game here. I guess if the ringleader.
Well, on board he's ahead, right? Like Mengucci's at 9, he's at 16, 5-5 versus 3-3.
Yeah.
He doesn't like know Mengucci's hand, right?
Yeah, no, like Noah has to play in the way that he does. He just like when you can't beat certain cards, you just assume that your opponent doesn't have them because there's no point in playing around them. So whoa. Okay, that's something. He gets the full 4 cards.
That's a lot of cards.
And the Incinerator will eventually just be able to remove the Gormagang now.
Yeah.
I think this is the point where, like, even if you draw everything you need, is it dead on
still
board
really
next turn,
hard?
actually?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Imagine if Incinerator could shoot players. That would be so overpowered.
Oh yeah, that'd be busted. The black version of that cycle could only hit players. The zombie one.
Oh, that it goes for loss of life or something.
Yeah. They lost life equal to the number of zombies you had, and you cycled it for black, I think.
People should play that in Bombardment. Sounds really good.
Yeah, right.
I wonder if somebody's gonna play Bombardment in the league. I think the deck is actually legit.
You think it's good right now?
It's playable, I think, but the Proto will probably tell us otherwise.
The last time I tried playing that deck, I was not impressed with its. I don't know. I just got murdered
that's
a lot.
That's the problem. Your name isn't Sam Black.
Right.
That
Exactly. Let me check. Let me check the league roster. Oh nope, Sam Black's not in this. Probably no one's probably playing Bombardment.
I still find it kind of cool, like some black top 8ing the GP with Bombardment. That's still like one of those actual old school legacy Cinderella stories in a way, where like a guy sits at home and he's got this, almost want to call it like a pet deck that he's working on that nobody's ever really seen or played, and then he just goes to the GP and top 8s, and then it kind of becomes like half a deck. Yeah, I kind of like those stories.
Dark Blast Dredge makes sense.
Does he keep dredging the Dark Blast?
It looked like he did.
I don't think that's really like getting you anywhere against goblins.
Well, you have to not die. I don't know. Did you? What do you think about Sharpshooter still being in post board?
I think it's okay because you can check out the Pyromancer tokens. You can check out.
Yeah, it is good against Young Pyromancer.
Yeah, there's a couple of things.
Not as good as
also, he probably doesn't really have a lot of great sideboard cards against Grixis Diver anyway, because overall, especially because of the 4 Tarfires, I think the deck isn't. I think Goblins might actually be favored in the matchup if both players play like an average sideboard.
Yeah, I think you're right. Got to respond with Dark Blast. And then, is this just lethal this turn? It looks like it.
Looks one of them. Yeah, definitely. Gets in for exactly 7. He can't even, like, I think Andrea's not playing pile drivers. Couldn't also cast them here.
No, but the, yeah, Lackey's pretty good.
Oh, Lackey's sweet.
Play or whatever.
Gnoril Grande. Does anyone speak Italian in the chat, by the way? Like, Grande I can get behind, but what's Gnoril? I've always wondered.
Fourth day is coming back in on the play here for Noah.
Taking over all the forces. Addict is also a card I don't really want to have against goblins. It just feels so bad to pay 2 mana to like kill a matron.
and like war marshals and stuff. Like Mengucci's like quad war marshal list is just so much better against edict effects than anything you could imagine.
So what did Mengucci actually bring in? He brought in Pyrokinesis. I didn't see the rest exactly.
Yeah, there's a couple Pyrokinesis there, and then there's the Sting Scourger that we already knew about. He cut Krenko.
So get a translation for Gnoril Grande in the chat, but I'm not sure whether that's actually true.
The big D, yeah, who knows?
The big D, yeah. I think both hands are keepable. I kind of actually warm up to seeing the Tarfires. Like, the Tarfires actually buy you some time to get your Wile online. Because right now, like, the Wile on 1 and 2 isn't really doing much, but once you get to 3, you can put in War Chief and immediately cut play Matron. And technically even Lackey and attack and put in Siege Gang. Okay, that's the dream. Oh yeah, he must name Wile here, right? Must be Wile. I guess he could name Tarfire, but that feels so bad.
I think the blind turn 1 therapy is not what I would do.
Yeah, I would definitely run out the Diver of Secrets here.
But yeah, got the vial. Gotcha.
Yeah, especially when you're named Wile. I mean, if he was naming Tarfire, I could see that he was trying to protect Diver. But I guess next turn he gets to run out Bomber Courier and Diver.
Well, I mean, if you are going to therapy for Vial, this is the only turn you can do it. So that is defensible.
I'm just not sure whether like Wile is really. I guess when your plan is to maybe make Liliana work, then Wile is really awkward because then you can't really Liliana the creatures that come after Wile.
That's true. That's a really good point. Now Noah can be in a place where he goes Bomet Courier, Flashback Therapy on Tarfire, play Delver too.
I wonder if Andrea. No, Andrea doesn't go for the Wasteland. He just builds mana. He can actually really use mana. I remember a lot of Goblin decks, like when all these new techie cards came out, especially Cavern, they eventually got to a point where they were like, I can't actually play like Goblins and splash a card and still have like 4 Wastelands, 4 ports, because then I only run like, I don't know, 8 red sources, and that's not really working for me.
Yep. Yeah, when I splash colors, I usually end up cutting some number of ports. And at that point, are you even Goblins anymore? You're not porting people?
Well, what I'm wondering is like, how often does it actually come up where your Tinsley Tooligan doesn't work because of your Goblin War Chief? Because that's something that, like, when you watch from the outside, you're not really aware of. But when you play Goblins, and you always tell your friends, "Come on, just play Splash Green. It's so easy." And then they sit there and they have War Chief, and they're like, "I wish my card was one. Like, can you just play Sphere of Resistance or something? My card is too cheap. I need it to be more expensive. I would gladly overpay to pay the green mana." Just like in Modern, when they have Thalia and you cast Phantom Prison for 3, and then you put like a dice with a 3 on it, and they're like, "Oh no, it's only 2." No, it's like, it's the greatest multicolor mana battery the world has ever seen.
Yeah. This Liliana actually looks like real good here.
Yeah, it's coming out, like, it's working out really well for Noah.
The Delver didn't flip, but it'll flip some other turn, right? Not a big deal.
Famous last words. This Delver will eventually flip. Oh, he goes for the flashback on the matron.
Man. That is an aggressive therapy flashback.
Oh, actually on the War Chief, probably because it has haste. Yeah, it's super aggressive, but I'm not hating it. Because if Goblin War Chief.
Yeah, War Chief.
Yeah. So if Andrea plays the Matron next turn, the Matron is going to die to Liliana, and the Bombard Courier is going to get in, and eventually Noah will get to reload, because now Audi has got, like, scrap in hand. What do you even get here? Like a Ringleader? Feels so bad. Another Matron? No.
Does it? I would get Ringleader.
Yeah,
Sure.
I just feel like I would definitely run 2 days here. Like, it's the only card that really makes sense.
You just daze the Matron then if you're doing that, right?
Probably, yeah, because you can't really deal with the Ringleader. Like, you can't kill it. That's true. Oh, double. Can you actually stack that in a way that you get to keep up? No, you can't really do that, right?
Huh.
I guess you get to play all the instants from one of them and then put the other. Like, if one of them draws you something
I believe you
instants.
pay the cost. I believe you pay the cost for the ability before the ability resolves, and I think discarding your hand is part of the cost. So you can stack both of them and draw the cards, I believe.
Oh, that's super sweet.
Would need a double red though, which he doesn't currently have.
Oh, he doesn't even. Yeah. Okay, now this game is actually pretty interesting at this point. But I think Noah is actually quite well. Or is he? Yeah, he probably is.
Oh, he's going to crack one of the couriers and try and sack into a daze. Is that what's happening here?
It looks like. Oh, he's looking through his deck to figure out what the 2 cards under the courier are.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's also something that Zach told me, that it's so much easier to play the deck on Magic Online when you're playing with the couriers, because Magic Online automatically stacks. Yeah! And
that's phenomenal.
He figures out, okay, there's like a 50% chance that there's a daze under one of those guys. Let's just go for it.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's
the first time I've seen that legacy.
You know, on paper, this play would have taken like 5 minutes for some players. It's like, oh no, let me check. Oh no, let me have my entire deck here.
Delightful.
That's some really masterful play. Andrea must feel really bad now.
Someone in chat says that's why Noah Walker wins tournaments and we don't. Oh, man.
Yeah, Noah's like, bans, which bans? I don't care. I'm just going to play this Bombard Courier. It's much better than Deathlight Shaman. Didn't want it anyway. Elves is for girls.
I think I like just playing the Young Pyromancer as opposed to leaving up Courier Crack. Noah disagrees. Noah also knows one of the cards underneath Courier, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually really funny how like every fetch land just tells you everything what's under the Courier right now. And he already knows again. He knows there's a daze.
That's why it was so easy for him to decide. It wasn't a 50%. Both dazes were exiled under the Couriers, maybe.
Yeah, probably because he like went for it so happily. Like, unless he had known that there was no daze, he would have easily just like played the Pyromancer.
Yeah, just snapped it off. I like Wastelanding.
Wastelanding, the Wasteland, probably. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you would be doing much else. And Liliana might actually just take that. We were talking about the zombie game, and now it's becoming real.
It's looking really real. 4/1/1s are not going to stop this Liliana from ulting.
Oh, yeah, Noah just takes the match. Wow.
Wow.
That was some real masterful play.
What a game, right? What a game.
Yeah, especially the double days. Like, where he actually just looks through his deck to figure out, yes, I got 2 days under there. Like, why is nobody playing this card? It's like Demonic Tutor every turn. It's amazing. Whenever it connects, Demonic Tutor. Actually, whenever it attacks, Demonic Tutor. Easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh,
so we got Noah and Rudy advancing out of the group into the losers bracket, while Andrea and Vincent go into Andrea and Vincent go into the losers bracket, and Rudy and Noah walk away into the winner bracket. Which is kind of funny because we did this poll earlier on Twitter today.
Yeah.
And I think Rudy got 2 or 3% of the vote.
Oh, yeah.
And at one point, Vincent was leading by, I think, 60% or something, because he sent him, he's commanding this Russian troll bot network he just happens to have. And every time I have something that I put up, like, Vincent comes in, he's like quite late to the party, and then he's like, I command you, my minions, to rig this poll. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Like on the website, we've got this vote, like, who do you think is going to win it? And he had like a couple votes. And then like after a while, he had like infinite votes. And I actually considered, because I can edit the vote, whether I should just like add 1 million to his votes and see how that goes.
Yeah, Rudy potentially one of the more underrated people of his of this league, of the group. Maybe he's good. His deck was also underrated too. I don't think any of the commentary and any of the 4 commentators that commented on his matches were like, "This is a great deck. What a good choice." Everyone was just like, "Yeah, I'm kind of mad at this. Maybe it doesn't draw Mox Diamond, just never does anything." And then he just murdered people, and now he's locked for the quarterfinals, right? So
yeah, the winner's side quarterfinals, it's gonna be 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that the Forgotten Gnome deck is definitely like a solid choice. I also really enjoy Green White Maverick. I just played it yesterday at our like legacy bar where we play every week, and it was amazing. Like Green White Maverick, and like in a way also Forgotten Gnome, which is kind of similar to that deck. Mm-hmm. They are amazing choices right now. I think
you managed to dodge the main deck Black Leyline matchup.
The Black Leyline, yeah, but even then, I think it's not that bad. Yeah, your knights are not gonna grow. That's a big issue, but other than that, I think
and your loam doesn't do anything, and your punishing fire doesn't do anything.
Yeah, but the loam isn't even like that big of a deal. I think in that kind of matchup, you would even like just side 2 of them out. Like
but once you start listing off like the whole deck like that, I don't know. Yeah. At what point is what cards are you actually winning with at a certain point? If your knights are turned off and your fires are turned off, and your loams are turned off, or like you're just winning with bot beats.
By the way, Mike just asked us to reveal our pretty faces again.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah, sure. Usually we get paid for that, but in this case, hello everyone.
Stream.
Oh, check this out, Caleb. Don't move. There's a fucking giant bear behind you. I don't know what you would do, but there must be some way to deal with that.
No, that's Sir Barrington. He's my roommate.
Is he a roommate?
He's my roommate, yeah. He usually carries the commentary, and I'm more like the pretty face on my stream.
I gotta get something like that. But I got this guy. I got a dinosaur, but he's a bit tiny.
Nice. Yeah, very similar. Only instead of very...
Probably some common ancestry.
yeah, somewhere back there. Go back far enough. Oh, man. So, that was the last match of the night, right?
That was the last match of the night. We are gonna be back next Wednesday, I think. Yeah, definitely. Thanks,
I play next week.
Are you playing?
Exciting. Yeah.
But you won't tell us what you're going to play.
Oh, I just told you. I'm salvaging people.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely.
It took you pretty far into the bracket last season.
It did. And I played a few leagues with it. I added a bunch of cards, and I'm like 9-1 so far. Just like playing the last couple of leagues. I'm like, yeah, all right, I still like this deck. So,
okay, so what's the next big buyout going to be? Savages?
Oh no!
Not even on the reserve list.
Don't do no. No, you're killing legacy. Don't do it, folks. Don't buy things.
Caleb has like 2,000 of those stored away, and he's gonna win the league, and then he's gonna write an article for Channel Fireball and Star City Games at the same time that the card is totally busted, and yeah. Then you will burn legacy to the ground.
Well, the price cap on the deck is from like the LEDs and City of Traders that a bunch of other decks already need, right? It's kind of hard for salvagers to have a price spike. Bobbles, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, Misha's bubble was like super expensive at that time until it was reprinted. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Caleb and everyone else, thanks for being on the commentary team for this season and like also today. We noticed that we had a couple of technical difficulties. I think at one point I was actually scared we might not even make the stream work in the first place because like less than 24 hours before the stream, Mike, who was actually doing all the streaming here, had his graphic card explode.
Kind of worked though. We kind of had a stream. I had fun.
Yeah, like we had a really good stream. We had over 700 viewers, which is I think a record for the Legacy Premier League. Definitely for the Legacy Mediocre League that we had before. So
hype
that's
is real.
Like really, really amazing. Like I didn't expect so many viewers to come in like in the very beginning, and now like, it's only getting much, much better from here. So thank you so much. Also, thank you for all the like amazing followers that we got. I think this channel grew by almost 10% just today, which is crazy to me. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Everything is going to be on itsjulian.com and also on my YouTube. There's going to be a link probably tomorrow, very likely tomorrow. And so yeah, thanks to our sponsors, Cardboard, who make our main sponsors for making this work. Also Cardboard.live. That's the graphic card that burned up, I guess. Cardboard.live of Risen Hunter, which is providing this great overlay that we just had, where you can see all the different decks and also the bios of the players. The Epic Storm, Brian Cook's The Epic Storm, which is also another support of the stream. And also MTG First, which like the guys who just came in today, that's why we couldn't really show you any footage or logos of them, but they decided to support this quite a meaningful way. So thanks to them as well. I think they are in Maryland. They have a couple of tournament series where you can win power. I hope I'm not lying, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So check them out. You know, next Friday there's gonna be somebody. Hey, so Julian said I can win power here. Come on, where's the power? And no, actually we have the standard draft, and you can win a couple of packs now. I'm pretty sure you can win power there.
Cool. Sounds sweet.
Yeah. So, anything else from you?
No, we're good. I think. See you folks next week.
Yeah. See you next week. Bye bye.